gonna get up here, and you know, a lot of people get up and you know they have their own agenda, and they come, they want to promote their own. Their whatever it is that they're doing, they want to get up and let you know this is what I'm doing, this is what I've accomplished, that kind of thing. And you know, I'm not going to do that tonight. You know, I'm not that kind of guy. But if I was that kind of guy, I would let you know that. If I was that kind of guy, I mean, I'm not that kind of guy, you know, so I'm not going to get up here and be shamelessly promote my own agenda. But I do want everybody to know that I just released my first book, entitled From the Crack House to the House of God. Yeah. It is an autobiographical, thoroughly instructional, highly controversial, and definitely motivational piece, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not, you know, trying to further my own agenda tonight. That would be shameless and just crass, really just really crass. But I do want to do a couple of excerpts from the book, and I do it in dramatic monologue, and I do it in the form of poetry. So if you will indulge me, I do appreciate your time and allowing me into your world tonight.
Oh, no, you leave me a bad hand.
No beat, sir. This is just straight up acapulco. That's just right there, straight up acapulco. Some of you think it's talent that enables me to write. But you don't know about them demons that still attempt to torment me while I sleep at night. See, I do what I do because my brother was gay, homosexual. Some people said he led an alternative lifestyle, and I would hate it when people called him a fag. And because of that big disease with the little name into the ground, he got dragged. See, I do what I do because my sister banged dope. You may call it shooting drugs. So there was never a chance for any hopes or any hugs. See, I do what I do because the first time I got locked, see, I got on the phone and I called my pops. And instead of compassion, all I got was his class. Talk about, boy, I didn't put you in jail over the phone. You gave a scared little punk a tongue lashing. So when I reflect on the rain of pain, the very inside of my spirit man cries out, truth be told, it's only because of the king's kindness with my manhood intact I made it out. See, I do what I do because my niece did time for burning her baby's face with a hairdryer because she wouldn't stop crying. See, I do what I do because my best friend Marky, they shot him right in his head. They found him with a joint in his mouth and a tear in his eye. That's that pain I write about. That cat wasn't supposed to die. See, I do what I do because I want you to know the pain that I sometimes live with and feel is real. But one thing for sure, this you can bet it, if you spend your nights at the hollow of things will get better if you let it. Now, I do what I do. I do what I do because the first child I ever had. I do what I do because the first child I ever had. I said I do what I do because the first child I ever had, before I could see the lovely eyes and her pretty head, the doctor pulled her from the womb and she was dead. Nah, you can't erase the trace of that baby's face. See, you don't want to wear my size 11. See, it's been mostly bad road, nothing close to the pearly gates of heaven. See, right now I'm still going through. Can't you see my mind, my body, and my soul is still black and blue from the battle I fight every day with the devil and his entire crew? See, you don't want to feel my pain. Because if I gave you all the horrific details, in your pants will remain some kind of discolored stain. See, God gave me a talent. I call it a gift, so every chance I get my pen to him, I'm going to lift. See, because I'm no longer in this for my health, I'm in this for the blessings of the Creator's wealth that will enter my spirit man like a bomb that is stealth. And I'm reminded of, and I'm going to get out your way, again, this is just some autobiographical pieces that are found in the excerpts of the book. The book is called From the Crack House to the House of God. Yeah, I like that. Sound effects. The reason why it is very important to me because I started working on it back in 1993. And the reason why it took so long because, you know, I had to do some more research and, you know, what was my profession at the time was, you know, crack smoking. I'm thus retired about 15 years ago, but that was my profession. And I did it for I did it for a very long time, but I'm going to get out your way. I am reminded of it was a typical Friday night as I sat on the edge of my bed, disgusted at the sight of myself. You know, once again, it was free the hard way: crack cocaine in the joint of marijuana, some form of alcohol on the nightstand, and Matthew, my baby, staring at me intently from the bars of his crib. See, the look on his face read, "What are you doing? Don't you remember the promise that you made me? Am I not worth more than the $10 hit of crack cocaine?" See, his lips never moved, but this was what my heart heard when I looked into his eyes, and this was my opportunity to embrace him. Yet the pain caused by my addiction forced me to medicate the pain with the same drugs that caused the pain in the first place. As I began smoking, Matthew began coughing uncontrollably. See, this was no ordinary cough that would subside with a breath of fresh air. My inside said it's payback time, and my mind's eye repeatedly played back a certain oath that I made to God. Matthew began crying. His face became red like fire, and an inexplicable amount of mucus began running from his nose. I felt the life force slipping from his body. All I can remember saying is, "I'm sorry, Lord, I'm sorry. Please don't hold me to it. Please don't hold me to the promise." Needless to say, the strain of my addiction was much too much for my baby mama to handle, so shortly afterwards she took my baby, uprooted, and moved back to New York. You know, my emotional state became unhinged, to say the least. It was as if everything and everyone that had ever taken away from me had to take it all over again when my baby mama took my baby from me. Well, in my assortment of drunken stupors, I would sometimes sit down and think of how much easier things would be for me and my baby if my baby mama was no longer in the picture. You know, I would sometimes sit down with the cheapest wine that I could find, and I would concoct different scenarios to have my baby mama, you know, fatally removed from the equation. Well, in 1989, I believe I lost all touch with reality, and I copped a real good scheme to have my baby mama murdered. Needless to say, the same demons that wanted me to go forth with this heinous opportunity ultimately saved my baby mama's life. Being that I couldn't save up enough money to deal with what I consider to be irreconcilable baby mama drama, could not make it past a hot lighter at the end of the night. Well, the hopes to have my baby mama done in were dashed, and I received a moment of lucidity, and I realized that having my baby mama murdered would not be in my baby's best interest. Thank y'all very much.